All right. So this is the second episode of the Blue Collar Marketing Podcast, and we're here with Delia. She runs Tidewater Social. Am I correct on that?
Yes, you are Tidewater Social.
Well, Delia, thank you for coming up to Lithicum here to film this podcast with us. We're creating this so that we can educate people further, especially in the home service industry, about digital marketing and ultimately ways to get more leads and grow businesses. So, really good guest here. This is Delia. She is a social media manager, and we're going to ask her a few questions and find out some more about the art of social media.
Can't wait to get into it.
Excellent. All right, Delia. So, tell me about how you got started in social media and why you got started.
So I have always had a passion for social media. I really got started during and then right after college, even in high school. I would be doing social media, working at the boutiques I worked at when I grew up. I ended up going to college for marketing, and I decided immediately after that social media was kind of that outlet that I really wanted to pursue. So I ended up working at an agency. And if you know anything about agencies, you know that you have a ton of clients, not a lot of time. You really need to be on top of things. It taught me a ton. And after leaving that, I kind of missed the fast paced creativity of it. And I decided that I wanted to venture out on my own. And I really just wanted to take what I learned and do it on my own.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So you've been doing this for some time and become quite an expert in social media
Well,
management,
thank
which
you.
is great, and all the other things as well. So the branding and
Right.
everything like that. So I did want to find out some information that would help the people who watch this, um, home services especially. So what is social media management, and ultimately why would a company need it in their business?
Right. So social media management, it encompasses a ton, and it can go in a variety of different ways. Social media management, in short, is essentially having a marketing professional take control of your socials. So that can be from something as small as just posting, scheduling, engaging for things that you wouldn't necessarily have time for as a business owner, to full scale social strategy where you're doing the content creation, you're looking at those analytics, you are building out their entire campaign schedule. Essentially, you are just telling their brand story through digital visuals. And so I know for home services companies, it's extremely important, right? What have you seen on that front for you guys?
Right. So yeah, with home service companies in the social media space, what I've noticed a lot is that business owners are definitely getting around to the importance of it. But what I've noticed is that they're not understanding exactly the methods. So with social media management and posting on social media is especially for a home service company is they like to try to sell on social media, and then they also often will not post enough volume. So they just have a few dirty job sites, or you'll have some kind of half done before and afters. And then what I always hear is, well, social media is not working for me. Um, and part of that reason is because ultimately they're not using it correctly. But social media is really a branding tool. It's a tool for you to get out, outreach, get new followers, and people can see your business. But ultimately, it's also a landing page. So you have people who come from an ad on social media, so a Facebook ad, and then they'll land on your profile, and they'll actually be able to get a glimpse of your business. So what I tell a lot of home service business owners is that treat social media like a branding tool, but also like a landing page. So put out some of your best work, put out some of your good material, and ultimately you want to really show your company in a good light. But if you want to use it as a tool, you want to look at volume as well. So you want to keep posting and keep going after it.
Right. I really loved what you said about using it as a branding tool. And I think that is what goes over a lot of people's heads, especially small business owners. Because you can look, and a lot of, at least what I've seen from my previous customers, clients, is that you expect social media to kind of guide your customers through the entire sales funnel, and that's not always the case. It is a fantastic tool for the more top of the funnel brand awareness, some engagement, but there's so much else that goes into funneling a initial social media customer into a client.
Right. Right. No, I totally agree. And so about that, what is working right now for small businesses on social media? What have you seen is the most effective methods and strategies to actually get an ROI on it?
Yeah, sure. So you are very familiar with this area, but short form video, any type of video content, I guarantee you've heard it everywhere. Most people have, but short form video is here to stay. I have seen time and time again through analytics and data from my clients of just how much it works, especially when it comes to brand awareness and reach. So, this, I love to use this for businesses who are really trying to grow faster, some who maybe don't have as much content or haven't been as consistent. This is a great tool to really get your business to the top of mind quickly. Physically, or sorry, not physically, but that's really what I've seen as for actual content type. As for campaign and strategy, I have seen a huge push for authenticity and transparency within the social media sphere. And I know that this varies for different industries, but at the end of the day, people aren't buying your product or your product or service just because they think it's the most convenient or it's the closest to them. They are buying because of who you are as a company. What are your values? What is your mission? What do you stand for? And how does that connect to your target audience? And finding those connections and sharing that through posts, videos, and engaging on social, that's how you're going to draw those customers into clients.
You said short form video, so that was that really caught my attention there. And one method that we've been using really effectively is we'll take a testimonial interview, and we'll actually make that testimonial interview for the website, but we're able to edit it into anywhere from like 3 to 10 to 50, doesn't matter, a bunch of different short form social media posts. So what we're doing is we'll take that interview, and then we're making probably about 3 to 6 more pieces of content out of that, and then also making an advertisement as well. So ultimately, it's what we found is taking content and filming once, but making it go a long way. That's been really effective for us, especially when we were able to get a happy client, to do a testimonial and to talk about the company and talk about what the reasons why they worked with them and the reasons why someone else should work with them as well. So filming those really important client testimonials and then breaking them down into social media content so they can use throughout the month, throughout the year on their platforms has been really effective.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that's super effective for you guys. And I really liked what you said too about kind of the repurposing content. And I think that takes a lot of the stress off of the actual customer. Because when you look at social media, it is so overwhelming sometimes to see just the vast amount of content that there is out there. How can I, stay up on the latest trends? How can I make sure I'm putting out enough content? You talked about the volume. And repurposing content using that long form, turning it into short form is a fantastic tool where you're just taking that time once. You're taking a couple hours out of your day. You're taking half of a day and you are getting content that then carries you throughout months. And I want to preface too that repurposing content isn't being lazy. It's working smarter, not harder. You can look at it and you have to think that the customer, you need, I think, 7 touch points before someone actually ends up moving into, the purchasing stand of sales. And with that, there's so many times where you can post similar, if not the same content repurposed, and your ideal customer is only seeing it once, if that.
Right. Right. So if you, I'm putting you in the hot seat here. So
No, go ahead.
if you had let's say a roofer,
Right.
And let's do a little more creative one because we used a roofer last time. Let's choose
Yeah.
a plumber.
Okay.
So what would you say if I gave you ABC Plumbing Company?
Right.
What would the first thing that comes to mind strategy wise? How would you go about pursuing that client and or not pursuing the client, but posting and a strategy?
Honestly, you gave a great start to that. The word of mouth and testimonials, that is a huge thing, especially for home service companies, because it is a very important service for people, and B, a you're investing time and money into that. You want to hear from other people first, right? Word of mouth marketing is always going to be the best. So, pulling those testimonials, turning them into graphics, using those video testimonials as well. And then I love to showcase behind the brand. And I think this is also really overlooked for some small businesses doing social media, being able to see the people behind it, seeing the owner, seeing where they came from, seeing their top performing plumbers. Where do they work? Where are they based out of? What's been their favorite job? What's their favorite part about working for this company? Why is this company better than others in the area? Why should I choose them? If you're able to pull those more personable sections of their business, especially for something plumbing, roofing, ones that aren't necessarily a super personable business in general, you already have that established connection moving forward. It makes it easier to make that purchase decision.
Right. Yeah. So, one of the things you said in there was the graphics, so the testimonials and the graphics.
Right.
So, I actually want to ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
So, I see a lot of professionals, but also companies. What they'll do is they'll at least weekly they'll take a testimonial from their one of their reviews off of Google, and then they'll just post it on social media. And I have a thought that not a lot of people read that, and not a lot of people are able to, like, I don't know, I just have the thought that, so what ultimately, what have you seen with that? Have you seen that being an effective way, or do you think that putting a face to that, obviously you said, putting a face to it, but like, is it worth putting the reviews out on written form on social media?
I think when you are really tight on time, it's something that you just need to get out, sure. But at the end of the day, video is always going to be king. So if you are thinking about investing in video and you're kind of unsure, you will never go wrong with investing in video, investing in the people. You've seen that firsthand. If you're looking at these testimonials and you're seeing these customers' faces, you're able to read their emotion. You're able to see the smiles on their faces. You're not able to do that with a graphic that just goes up that might be branded to you, it might not. And it just brings a sense of consistency. It really hones in on the actual impact that these businesses have had on people when you can get those video testimonials.
Right. Yeah. So, like, one of the things I say when home service companies, they're asked, like, well, what do I even start with, like, on my page, is I always say, like, be authentic, right? But also happy customer faces even. So,
Right.
like, for one of our clients, we're doing a cooler giveaway. So, he has these cool Yeti coolers that have the logo on them, and when somebody refers somebody to get their basement waterproof, their crawl space encapsulation, what we'll do is go out there and give the cooler to them and actually take a photo of that customer, take a video as well, and then post that on the social media. So what that does is it's showing that that the company, the business owner, is actually helping clients, and you can actually see the faces of the clients they're helping, and that's why ultimately that video testimonials are so effective, because um, people trust their neighbors, right?
Right.
So when they see one of their someone that looks like them, talks like them, maybe even one of their neighbors, talk about their experience, they're able to take that leap, and because there's a bunch of companies they can work with. There's a ton of different plumbers out there you can work with, and ultimately, taking that edge off and actually seeing somebody tell the story through a video testimonial, we've seen it very effective. And for the social media side of it, repurposing it, like you said, being able to put it on so many different platforms, and YouTube, and now YouTube Shorts, and then social medias like Instagram, Facebook, is you can get one testimonial, one interview, and make that go so far. And so what we like to do is we package up testimonials. So we'll obviously do one client testimonial and edit that a few different ways, but we love to do three of them, so that we have within their social media strategy, we have so much content to throw in there, so that if they do have, followers or people who are seeing this content, they can get a better glimpse of what it would be like to work with that company.
Right. No, I love I think that's an amazing idea. And I really liked you also talked about you said telling a story, and that's really what social media is at the end of the day is storytelling. You can chop it up to being some kind of overarching, really overwhelming thing, but at the end of the day, you are just telling the story of your brand through digital.
We've been over a bunch of things about how to use social media,
Right.
right? So I think we know where we're going here is how should a company how should a company not use social media? So let's use the plumber for example, right? So if you have a plumbing company, um, walk me through a bad way that they could approach social media.
Ooh, there are so many bad ways. I don't even know where to start with that. Um,
What's the one you see the most?
the one I see the most is just really inconsistent, unbranded content. And for me, that drives me up a wall. I'll see, like you said, those half done jobs. It'll be really grainy. They're not taking care of the actual content itself, or it'll just be stock photos or ones that aren't actually personalized to the brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I've seen is I always say when I used to have a deck building business in college with waterfront services, and one of the things I did really effectively at that business was I was able to check all the digital marketing boxes,
Right.
and I realized that a lot of companies aren't able to do that. Like even whether it be a contractor or a real company, not a real company, but like an established with employees and everything. So companies are they're trying to check the boxes or they're not checking them at all on the digital marketing front. And it's coming across either as sloppy, but also some of them just aren't even doing it. So when I had this company is I was able to do that, with my age and my tech being tech savvy and everything, I was able to find all the boxes that need to be checked digital marketing wise. I made sure I did them, but I also did them effectively. So one of the things I've noticed with social media is that companies have been told you got to get on social media. You got to do Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, right? And so they go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get, someone in the office or I'm going to try to do it myself. And then it actually, what I see it come across as is actually it hurts their business, right? So like by not putting the full effort into it, they don't realize that this is something that is an outward looking, someone could, a customer could fall upon this, or if they're a customer's doing their due diligence, they're going to search a few different companies and actually look at their social media, and they're going to see the one with the happy customers and the testimonials, and oh, this is a company I want to work with, versus the one that is the dirty job sites. It's sloppy. It doesn't have any brand. So that's what I've noticed a lot. And ultimately checking those boxes correctly, but also doing them with intention.
I completely agree. At the end of the day, it's going to be quality over quantity. And like you said, when people come in and you think that you need to go on every single platform, check every single box, that is not true. You need to go where your customers already are or where you want to find your target audience. And that doesn't mean hopping on every platform. If you're a home services company, I don't necessarily see the benefit of you hopping on TikTok and getting on the latest trends because Gen Z isn't looking for a plumber. You're looking for millennials. You're looking for, maybe Instagram, definitely Facebook, possibly LinkedIn. But usually, Instagram, Facebook are going to be the top two for that. You need to look at your demographics. You need to look at, what are the other things that your target market is already using and learn how to do that as best as possible. You pick what you want to invest in, learn the specifics of those platforms, and then move through there. You don't need to have every single platform down. You just need to have the ones that you can handle and check those boxes off of.
Right. So one of my favorites right now is YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, for a lot of reasons, obviously being on the video side, YouTube makes clear sense, right? Of why someone who does video content for companies would want to be on YouTube. But there's a reason for that even further. Well, ultimately, on YouTube, it's searchable, right? So if you go onto Google and you search for a plumber, or you search, can I fix this leaky pipe professionally, or whatever it may be, is there a professional in the area that can fix this situation I have with my plumbing? And ultimately, if you have not, you have a good video, but you have a video that's been made and it's getting views and it's on a website, what will happen is it will actually start coming up in that Google feed, right? So on that search feed. So you go and type in even like plumber near me, right? So you go down and you might see some ads, you might see the local service ads, and then Yelp and Angie's List, and then somewhere in there you're going to see a row of videos. And so when we make videos, actually over time they start getting ranked in there. So now customers are actually finding the businesses they work with through video searches, through Google. And then the other great thing is now they have YouTube Shorts, which are just a great way to actually not only so you can do long form video on YouTube, and that's great. And you put that on your website, and you're going to get views on your website, but you're also going to get some on YouTube. But ultimately, if you start doing YouTube Shorts more effectively, not only are it's going to become searchable and customers are going to see it, it's actually going to help that web page do better. Because if your YouTube page is doing good, it gives more credit to that website for SEO. So we found that YouTube is not forgotten, but it's an underrated SEO tool. It's essentially video is for the customer as much as it is for the search engine.
I completely agree with that. I also, on that front, I really liked that you talked about how it ties into searchability and SEO, and going off that from a social media standpoint, I think that helps add the value of how much educational content is growing and how important it is. And especially that goes for home services companies too. So you talked about, checking home services companies near me, plumbers near me. But what if someone's searching, how do I fix this leaky pipe? What is the best way to do XYZ? And I found that for home services companies and the other industries that I work with, restaurants, wellness, being able to have those searchable video terms and providing educational content is unmatched, because you also have to think that's sendable, it's shareable, it's savable, and everyone wants to have content that they can easily pull and use for their business.
Right. So like one of the things about YouTube I've noticed about the searchability and the keywords is that business owners will post on YouTube. They'll get even a video company or a videographer to come out and make a nice video, and then they'll make that YouTube. They'll post it, and what they won't do is they won't write a description.
Oh my gosh, I just had that happen actually last week with one of my clients.
Right. It's like what they're missing is when you get a nice video, and let's say it's a video testimonial, and what you can do is you write about it, but you write about it with your keywords in mind. So again, we'll use the plumber, and so you write about your company solved their problem. So if they had leaky kitchen sink, you would write about that. We came to Miss Jones' house, and we solved her leaky sink problem. We tightened all the pipes up and everything, but ultimately replaced the sink and everything. And you write that in there, and then you also write the location, and then you put the location into the YouTube video. You put a bunch of tags, which are indications of what the video is about. And then when you take that video and you put it on a web page, it actually, now the search engine has so much more information about that video. So now that they know, what to rank it for when you're searching for a kitchen sink that's leaking. So my kitchen sink is leaking. You search for that, it's more likely for that video to come up if you do it effectively on YouTube. And that's why I'm always trying to tell people is that YouTube and video is an SEO tool more than anything. It's great for the customer to see. It's great to see a customer to see. It's great for a customer to see like a customer that company helped, and it's great for them to see the brand videos and everything like that. But ultimately, um, it's a SEO tool. It keeps people on the website. It helps to get found more. So that's just something I'm always trying to educate people about.
For sure.
What would you tell a business, let's say a small business that is reluctant to use social media? What's your golden advice you'd give them, as they're reluctant to do it, but they want to get started? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that A, it's not as overwhelming as it seems, and B, it is a necessity for your business to grow in 2023. A lot of what I've seen is the reluctancy is either coming from them wanting to DIY it or just the unknown of what it takes. And in my mind, you are a business owner and your job is to grow and scale your business. Your job is not to sit and make reels for 2 hours a day. Your job is not to keep up with the latest marketing trends. Of course, that's great. But at the end of the day, that's not what's going to grow your business. You being out, connecting with community, building partnerships. That is what's going to grow your business. And hiring a professional to share that brand story is going to be the most effective form of growing your business digitally. You are working with the people that are in this day in and day out. They understand the strategy, they understand the trends, they have the knowledge to create a long lasting brand awareness campaign all the way through purchasing. So at the end of the day, I would say that it is not as overwhelming as you think. You can do it. You just need to kind of think on a more micro level and understand that using marketing and specifically social media right now is the fastest, quickest, and most efficient way to garner a larger target audience.
Right. Yeah. So you talked about like the most efficient way. So that's ultimately why I've started focusing the business into video testimonials, is because I wanted to use video and reviews and content, everything like that, the most effectively for clients. So what I found is that if you can interview a happy client and get that message across, you not only get the social proof, but you also get the brand and you get the work done in there too. So we actually film the project as well, and the after, what it looks like at the end. So that's what I found when you say most effective, is that I've been able to find that getting those video testimonials and getting a few of them has just gotten so far on getting on the website, but ultimately getting on social media too, having content to post. So when you have a social media manager like yourself, you have all these creative ways to go about it. And then like you said, like you're pressed on time. A great piece of content is putting that short form video testimonial in there, 15, 30 seconds long, of that can actually push that potential customer that's watching that over the edge to actually become a customer of that company. So that's ultimately why, like you said, like video testimonials have been so effective for our clients. And then also, not going to get into too much today, but also getting reviews, um, extremely important.
So important.
The actual physical reviews on Google,
Yes.
Facebook,
Google
Yelp.
My Business is so you talked about that recently, right?
Right. Yeah.
How
So
underrated
so
it is.
I've been going into the Google My Business, because ultimately I found that I wanted, again, like I said, with video testimonials, I want to do what's most effective for the clients. Um, and you can do advertising, which we've done and we do, and it's going to get some quick wins. But over short term, even, but also the long term, focusing your energy onto where clients are going to find you. So that's on the Google My Business. It's on Maps. It's on mobile, which is great for all of that. So which led into figuring out how important reviews are. They're so important that ultimately, with AI coming, obviously we won't get into too much of it today,
Oh
but
yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
what we found is that AI search engines like Google Bard are going to have to find a way to rank companies. And what we discovered is the way they're going to do it is through reading reviews, because it's the most efficient, it's the most fair way to evaluate a company and say, this is the 5 best companies for you to work with. And I'm the AI, I'm going to tell you that. So that's also a reason why we're going down that route into reputation management, which is video testimonials, online reviews, and managing that Google business profile.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, is there any last thing you want to say to any home service business owners who are, thinking about getting to social media? What would you just tell them? One thing to say.
Ooh, one thing I would say to home services companies looking to get into social media is that you will not regret it and it will paint your business in an entirely new light, one that is going to skyrocket your growth.
I'll add one thing to that, but you should definitely hire someone like Delia to do that,
Oh,
because you can do it a wrong way. You can manage the social media the wrong way, and you want to have a professional like Delia to do that. So,
thank you.
and I appreciate you coming onto the podcast, onto the Blue Collar Marketing Podcast with BlueWorks Pro.
I'm so happy to be on. This is an awesome conversation. I can't wait to see what you get up to next.
I know this is awesome. So we'll definitely have you back at some point, and we're looking forward to more seeing all the work that that you do and you put out there for yourself and for your clients. So yeah, it's been awesome, guys. Well, thank you, everybody.